Thanks for joining the channel. I appreciate you checking it out. Do me a favor, if you like the content, don't forget to click that like button and subscribe. We have a big goal we're trying to reach of 1,000 subscribers, and we need your help. So please, again, if you like the content, click that like button and subscribe and share with others. We have some big goals here. We need your help doing it. We appreciate it. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the channel. So good to have you here. I'm glad you stopped by. Got a special uh movie you should have seen today. Well, special to me, and I hope it's special to you. So let's dive in. Movies you should have seen. Okay, so this movie is special to me because I've seen it hundreds of times, and because um it brings back some great memories of mine. I used to sit and watch this movie with my family and with my grandfather in the basement of my grandparents' house. He loved this movie, and we used to watch it all the time. And then, like I said, my family would be there, but it just brings back memories of watching it with my grandfather.
Are you crying? Am I crying? No, I'm not crying. You're crying.
But outside of that, it's a fantastic movie. And if you haven't seen it, please do. And as always, I'm not going to do any spoilers because I try to introduce people to a new movie, and I want you to be able to experience it yourself. So if you haven't seen this movie, don't worry, no spoilers. So what movie am I talking about? I am talking about the 1984 film A Soldier's Story. 1984, right. So give you a rundown of the movie and its background. Directed and produced by Norman Jewison. It is actually an adaptation of the Pulitzer Prize winning play, A Soldier's Play, that was written by Charles Fuller. And Fuller actually helped write the script for the movie adaptation. Um, and it was up for 3 Academy Awards. Um, but let me read the plot to you, and then I'll dive into why you should have seen this movie. So the plot is, according to IMDb, is a black soldier is killed while returning to his base in the Deep South. The white people of the area are suspected at first. A tough black army attorney is brought in to find out the truth. We found out a bit more about the dead soldier in flashbacks, and that he was unpopular. Will the attorney find the killer? Okay, pause. IMBD, you have to do better. That was a horrible, horrible storyline synopsis or breakdown. That was trash. All right, so I'm gonna give y'all Marcus's version. Okay, so here's Marcus's version, and then we're gonna talk about why you should have seen this movie. So that's kind of true, but it was just horrible. So this is back in World War II time, so the 40s, right? So a black drill sergeant in World War II is killed. Okay, in Louisiana, like the South. So because it's the army, um, Washington hires a black attorney who is also in the army to go investigate this murder of this sergeant on this base. Because again, this sergeant was killed on base, and this black attorney who's also in the army, not hired, but he gets orders to come down and investigate this murder. And then what happens is, through flashbacks, you find out the type of character that this sergeant was which leads you down this journey on who could have killed this person, because through flashbacks you discover almost anybody could have killed him because he wasn't a well liked person. Now, that is Marcus's version of the story. Let me tell you why you need to see this movie. If the synopsis wasn't good enough, if Marcus's synopsis wasn't good enough. First off, let's start with the cast. Okay. Well, first off, again, this is from a play that is well decorated, Pulitzer Prize winning play, um, and it was up for 3 Academy Awards. But this cast, Howard E. Rollins, who plays Richard Davenport, which is pretty much the star of this movie. Um, Adolph Caesar, who plays Sergeant Waters, the sergeant who is murdered. Art Evans, you might know him from Die Hard and a few other movies. Die Hard 2, excuse me, a few other movies. David Allen Greer, Denzel Washington, Robert Townsend, William Allen Young, Patty LaBelle actually has a little role in this. John Hancock. Um, I mean, this cast is crazy. Did I say Robert Townsend? Robert Townsend. So the movie has two of my heroes in it. Robert Townsend and Denzel Washington. Robert Townsend, one of these days I have to tell you, if I haven't already. But Robert Townsend's career is I idolize because of his desire to make movies and what he did to get it done. He basically did them on his own, and I love that. So the cast is phenomenal. But then you go into this story, and what you realize, and again, this was '84, so I was a kid when I used to watch this with my grandfather and my grandmother and my aunt, and um, great memories. Um, but this is a murder mystery. This is a murder mystery at its core. But on top of that, there's so many different layers to unpack and unravel and go through. I mean, you got the deep South racism, you have the war, World War II, you have even how black men at the time looked at each other. You have a little bit of you have politics involved. Um, you have deep rooted racism, hate, all that stuff, all that baked into an actually really good who done it film, because that is what this was at the core of this movie, is you're trying to figure out who killed this sergeant. Um, and I'm not gonna lie, uh, the movie tries to paint a picture like all these movies do, that they try to point you in a direction that's obvious, but you go on a journey. You go on a very well written, well thought after journey, trying to figure out who killed this sergeant. I wish I could have seen the play. I would love to see the play. But man, this movie is really good. The music's by Herbie Hancock. You know what I'm saying? Heck, it starts with a number by Patti LaBelle, like the Patti LaBelle. Like that's how the movie starts. Okay. But the cast is great, the acting is great, the story's great. The scenery is great. Like you feel the South. Like there's not a single scene in the movie where people aren't sweating because you feel the South and you feel the hate and you feel the you're like in the time. Great movie. I really like that it's a murder mystery that isn't trying to preach something to you. It's just stating the facts. It's just showing you this is what it was like. Period. While also taking you down the path of um, a whodunit film. I loved it. I love this movie. Um, Like I said, I've seen it hundreds of times. It's just a really well thought after story. And again, this is based on it's an adaptation on a play that did very well. So at the end of the day, I recommend Soldier Story. Now, I don't believe it's streaming anywhere, but you can rent it on all the streaming services, I believe. But I take that back. Freevee has it right now for free. So if you want to watch it on Freevee through Prime, it's available. I got it on VHS tape. Well, sorry, I used to watch it on VHS tape. I don't have the VHS tape, but that's how old I am. But it is available on Freevee. But anyways, you want to see a great young Denzel Washington, Robert Townsend, uh, um, uh, David Allen Greer, Howard E. Rollins. Man, what a cast! Definitely check this movie out. A Soldier Story. I'd love to hear what you thought. If you've seen it, go ahead and put your comments and thoughts below. If you haven't seen it, check it out and let me know your thoughts. I appreciate y'all coming in. Do me a favor. Again, click that like button and subscribe. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. I appreciate you. Until next one, peace.